those things don't happen unless you have a plan. Would you stop doing that? Thank you. Okay. It's not a good look for somebody who's trying to impress a parole board. Just like it wouldn't be a good look to impress a potential employer. And so you need to understand that the way you carry yourself impacts the way people see you.
Woo, I love that from Miss Jackson. Now we're about to watch a parole hearing for a man who cannot get out of trouble, including being locked up for fighting his pit bulls. Let's see how well it goes for him.
Classified as a second felony offender, offense theft of a motor vehicle less than $1,500, attempt to possess with intent to distribute cocaine, and dogfighting. Sentencing dates are April 20th, 2017, revoked on October 17, 2018, August 20th, 2018, and June 12th, 2019. Sentenced to a total of 12 years. Parole date is July 17, 2021. Good time, July 3rd, 2022. Full term, June 22nd, 2030. Is this information correct? Mr. Joseph, is this information correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Joseph. How are you?
All right, good afternoon.
I've been assigned your case, and there's some things that I'd like to go over with you for the board. First of all, how old are you?
22.
How much time have you served on this 12-year sentence?
Like 38 months.
38 months?
That's mine.
I show that you lost 200 days of good time. You want to tell us about that?
That's mine. I was at work release, and I got into a little incident, and I lost good time.
Well, tell me about what the little incident was.
I got into a fight.
And you were removed from work release?
That's mine.
How long had you been in work release?
I was at work release like about a month. I was up there about a month in East Feliciana.
You didn't make it very long in work release.
Oh, man.
And they took 200 days for the fight, or was there some other reasons that you lost 200 days?
It was a fight, and they said I broke a water pump, but while I was fighting, me and dude, we had fell on the water pump. And they did destruction of property.
Okay. And what year was that,
In
Mr. Joseph?
19.
2019?
That's mine.
All right. How many other write-ups have you had since then?
That's really the only high court write-up I had.
Well, let us decide. You tell me how many you've had since 2019.
I had like 2 other write-ups.
And what were they for?
Intoxication.
Tell me about that.
That when, just things was going on.
Things are always going on.
In jail.
What were you intoxicated on?
Some mojo.
Okay. On both occasions?
No, man, just on this one right here.
Okay, and what you said you had 2 write-ups. So what's the other one?
I think the other write-ups was like, I really didn't know. I had it in my photo work. I really didn't know.
Okay. So since you were removed from the work release program, what's your job at the prison?
I just been chilling,
Chilling. Okay.
Just getting classes though. They got classes because they ain't really been having too many classes going on up here. So whenever they do have a chance to get in class, I try to get classes.
So tell me some of the classes you've taken.
I took substance abuse, money management, and I got reentry. I finished reentry last year.
Okay, so you did
Yes,
the reentry classes. I have to tell you that you have a lot of opposition. You have an opposition from Judge Caswell, also the DAs of the 13th and the 27th Judicial District. from the sheriff of St. Landry and Evangeline parishes, and from the Opelousas police chief, as well as the victim of the theft. And so there's nothing much that you can do about the opposition, but you need to be aware that a lot of people don't think it's a good idea to release you. And I am concerned that you were removed from the work release program about 30 days in. And after that, you had two write-ups, and one of them was for using Mojo. So I'm kind of concerned about that. So you're not currently in any kind of program?
No, man, they don't be having classes like that going on up here. So whenever they do have classes, I, fill in right up, try to get into.
Well, if you were to be granted parole today, Mr. Joseph, what's your plan?
My plan is to get my life on the right track, do better.
That's talk. It's not a plan. Give me a plan. A plan is something specific.
All right, my plan is give me a good job,
Doing what?
Like construction work, welding, CDL.
And are you trained in welding?
So I go to school, picking up a trade or something like that.
Okay, so you don't have any job skills right now.
No, man, but I got people who do got pull and can get me in the doors, things like that.
Okay. What else?
Just, move on, you know what I'm saying? Invest in, get my money right so I can invest in money and do the right thing.
Where would you live, Mr. Joseph?
You said, where would I live?
Mm-hmm.
Or my sister until I get myself together?
Mm-hmm. Okay. How far did you go in school before you got incarcerated?
9th grade.
So you'd have to get a GED before you could even enroll in some of these classes. Did you ever try to get in a GED class while you've been incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened with that?
I got shipped. I was at East Feliciana. That's when I got shipped. And I got up here and I rolled in the class, but the man, he never called me to go back to the class because they had classes who've been enrolled already.
Is there anyone in the room with you from the prison?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Could I hear from the institution to find out what anybody can tell us about Mr. Joseph?
Well, they ain't got to, he don't.
Okay, that's okay then. That's okay. All right. Is there anyone who can tell us anything about Mr. Joseph's record at the institution?
Not available.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Appreciated talking with you. That's all I have, Mr. Weiss.
Yes, ma'am. I see there's a speaker, Jamel. If you would, just unmute your mic, the sister.
I'm here.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Jamela Session. I'm Willie's sister. And I feel like you all should grant him parole because I feel he's matured, learned his lesson, and he deserves a second chance at life. He has kids and they need their father. His son is looking forward to bonding with him. We all misses him so much and want him to better himself. He's young and have a whole life ahead of him to continue to better himself. Our grandmother wanted him home to see him do well, but she didn't get a chance to do that because she passed away. I think he learned his lesson. Like I seen a change in his behavior since last year. When he was doing all that stuff, I told him he wasn't ready to come home, but I see a big change now. And it's been a while now. And I think he's ready to come home. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, Willie, do you have anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all time for bringing me up here.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, Ms. Monty Jackson will be voting.
All right, Mr. Joseph, you are young. And you have the opportunity to make some better choices, and I hope you'll do that. I really do. But today I'm going to vote to deny you because of the strong opposition you have, that your risk score is moderate, which is not good, and your removal from the transitional work release program, I think, is really not in your favor.
That was like 2 years ago.
It doesn't matter. But again, for those reasons, I'm going to deny you, but also the proximity to your release date. You're going to be getting out on July 3rd of 2022 rather. And you need to make some plans and have some concrete things in place to get out so you can be successful. Talk about what you want to do, but those things don't happen unless you have a plan. Would you stop doing that? Thank you. Okay. It's not a good look for somebody who's trying to impress a parole board. Just like it wouldn't be a good look to impress a potential employer. And so you need to understand that the way you carry yourself impacts the way people see you. You might not have meant any disrespect, but it appeared disrespectful. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, my vote today is to deny.
Ms. Pearl Wise?
Mr. Jackson, I agree with your sister. You have made big changes. You have, but there are more changes to be made, and you got plenty of time. My vote is the same. I vote to deny for the reasons I already stated on the record. But between now and July of 2022, start writing down your plan. What you're gonna do, how you're gonna, in order. Go to school first, go ahead and get those things lined out. You have something to look back on when you get out and everything start going crazy. Get your focus, make some one simple change a week, one simple change and go on. Good luck to you. I believe you can do it. I don't believe you'll be back. I really don't believe you'll be back for a parole board again. But I do want to tell you, since I've been on this parole board, there have been people in their 60s, in their 70s, and in their 80s still coming back. And you are 22. I want you to know it can happen unless you make a plan. Best wishes to you, sir.
All right.
At this time, I vote the same as my colleagues. I vote to deny because of the reasons stated. Thank you very much.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to save that little soundbite of Miss Jackson. I'm going to implant that into the Connecticut parole hearings that we see, because they have Connecticut parole. This is something that I comment on quite often, which is people coming to the Connecticut parole hearings. If you're not familiar, I have a second channel where we cover a lot of those hearings from Connecticut, and they conduct themselves at these parole hearings as if they're back in the cell with their cellie. They come in there, their hands in their pants, cursing every type of foul language that you can think of, and the parole board just allows it. They just simply allow it. I have not heard the parole board a single time comment on the use of profanity from a parole inmate, and I have always said, hey, this is when an inmate is supposed to be at their best behavior. This is when, the idea that a parole board member in Connecticut does not comment is absurd. Because, if this is how they're going to act, then how are they going to act at a job interview? It's totally absurd to me and irks me. And if you hear in the background, it's my little son playing, but I'm very short in time and I need to finish this hearing. So I hope you forgive me. So I'm going to save this soundbite and plant it in because to me, it's just classic Miss Jackson, and also so clear that it has to be said. Now, this is one of the articles that Richard found where he was arrested as a teenager. Deputies arrested him Monday as a tip was received that he was trying to make his two pit bulls fight in his backyard. The witnesses was able to video the dogs fighting while Joseph watch and instigate the fight. Deputies arrived, were able to make contact with Joseph and advise him of his Miranda rights. During questioning, Joseph responded that he was trying to make the dogs play, not fight. Deputies located one of the pit bulls still in the cage. The dog had blood and cuts on both ears. The other pit bull was inside the residence with cuts and blood in front of his face. Dogs would not allow the deputies to get closer to them without becoming aggressive. Animal control took possession of the dogs. Joseph was arrested and taken to the parish jail. Sheriff said, "I would like to thank the person who sent the video, and I would like to thank that person who sent the video as well." You know, dogfighting is something that I think all states in the U.S. take seriously. At least that's what we're made to believe. And remember that football case when it became a huge news story? Was it Michael Vick? I think it was Michael Vick. Everyone, it's interesting. I feel like our animals, our pets, our dogs in the U.S. is like something sacred that you don't cross the line, even more so than children, which I don't know, but it seems that's something that everyone agrees on. Although what is always a little bit ironic, if you will, is when they do take dogs that are fighting and then they put them down, and that's always interesting. It's like, wait a minute, we're all disgusted, and then you go and you take the dog and you kill it. But I don't know what other options they have. Maybe you put them all on some dog farm somewhere. But I know there's a lot of. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents, and with that, I'll let you go.